everyone. So a couple months ago, I promised you a Q&A video with myself and our transmedia editor, Ashley Corral. Unfortunately, Ashley is traveling right now, so I'm not able to do that with her. But I did find some other people that you might be okay with answering. Oh my gosh. All right.
Hello.
What are we doing here?
Let's introduce ourselves first.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, in like an out-of-world way. You want to start?
Okay. Hi, I'm Carly, and I played Jane.
I'm Shelby, and I wrote and played Emily.
I'm Cody, and I played Oscar Wilde.
Yeah, you did. We have all reunited after our crazy semester apart from one another, and we are going to answer your questions.
Yay!
Yay!
Questions!
So I've got questions here. Our first question is from Kayla Tyne on Twitter. She said, I'm so sad it's over. What inspired y'all to embark upon the journey in the first place? Which is the same question as Megan with an H, also on Twitter, who asked, what inspired your idea for the series? Which is genius and amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Megan. So we've all known each other since high school. We did theater together, and I think all through high school we were always throwing around ideas. We were like, we're gonna do this play, we're gonna do this short film. We had lots of great ideas, and nothing ever came to pass with them. Last summer we did a scripted series, or we started to, that was kind of inspired by Friends or How I Met Your Mother, and we shot a pilot episode for it before we realized that
all of it, though, was still linked to the literary world.
Right. Yes.
Every character was based on, their favorite, was influenced by their favorite writer and stuff. So, we were still within a literary world, but not, it was very different.
But, I love our scripts for that, but once we shot our pilot, we realized we didn't really have the locations we needed, we didn't have the cast we needed, we didn't have the time, the experience. Yeah, it all just kind of train wrecked. So, then right before these guys got off school for Christmas break, we started talking and we said, okay, so that series isn't going to happen, but we still want to do something. So kind of let's look at what we do have location and people and time-wise and see what we can put together from that.
It's like this giant message on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it was
2
just
weeks before we started shooting,
2 weeks.
by the way.
And it was just oh, well, we could do this. Oh, that's good. And then somebody, I don't know who it was, but it was something it was Shelby, I'm sure.
The genius.
She was something, and then the next person was like, yes, and this, and this, and this, and this, and it all of a sudden it was just this amazing project.
It created itself.
Yeah.
Because I had been dabbling with the idea before of trying to do character crossovers in a series. I thought that would be fun to take characters from different books, but then it just started feeling like Once Upon a Time or something, and so as a writer myself, I care about writers, so I think they have interesting life stories, and then we just kind of ran with it. Carly just kind of answered this one. Blue asks, when did you get the idea, and what was the process to make it all happen?
Right, yeah. We, the idea kind of came into fruition 2 weeks before we started filming.
No, 2 weeks before the first episode came out.
2 weeks before the first episode came out. So not even 2 weeks before we started filming. So,
it was crazy.
It was insane.
And the whole thing took place over mine and Carly's Christmas break, because she graduated, but we are still in school, and so it was a month to create the idea, to write the idea, and to get everything just in line and in place and just go. It was so fast.
The quickest process I've probably done.
Yeah.
It was just so quick.
It was insane.
We shot probably, I'd say 80% of our episodes in one night.
In one night, yeah. I wrote the majority of the scripts in a week, and I would sit at my desk job, and if there was nothing going on for work, I was just sitting there typing like crazy. I've never had that kind of burst of writing all at once before, because it was just necessary.
And most of the time, whenever Shelby and our friend Sarah, who helped Shelby a lot behind the camera and stuff, they were setting up the room and all the equipment. Me and Carly are off learning our lines.
I was like, here are your scripts.
I know. It's just a page-long monologue. It's okay.
Sorry, you're brilliant.
Jane talks a lot.
Oh, good. Our next question is from a very dedicated fan named Carly Hayes on Twitter, who asks an excellent question. And since she happens to have the same exact name and Twitter handle as you, I'll let you answer it first, Carly Hayes.
We haven't tell the question. It's a good question.
Okay. What's your favorite color?
Listen, okay. I'm gonna go, Carly. I'm gonna go with blue. It's just like a universally great color. Shelby, answer the question.
Yes, I think my favorite color is like a teal turquoise, so it's blue but also green, because I like that too.
I don't have a favorite color. I like the.
That's the lamest answer.
No, I do like the rainbow. I changed favorite colors all the time. Like it was green for a while. It was purple as a kid, like deep violet purple, and then it was like deep sapphire blue and stuff for a while. Right now,
He's just really deep.
I'm very deep. No,
Deep.
right now I would say like the grayish blue, like the silvery blue kind of color. Like, I really like that.
I can get behind that. Thank you for your question, Carly.
Okay, this is a good one. Not that the colors question wasn't a good one. But Victoria Bacon on Twitter asks, what was the most difficult scene to get right, either writing or performing? And I know we all have at least one of these. So, you want to go first?
Okay, like we said earlier, about 80% of the episodes we filmed in one singular day. And we started really, really early. They were filming over at Carly's house, because that's where Emmy's room was, in Carly's house, and then the apartment was my apartment way across town. And so they're filming, and then I'm cleaning and stuff, and then they get there, we film all day long, you know, and we're just like episode after episode just popping them out, and like it's going really, really well, but like we're really tired, and then we have a dinner break, and then we come back and we have some crazy, horrible experiences with episodes, and it's just getting really exhausting and stuff. And then finally we have to go back to Carly's house to film, and at this point it's like 2:30 at night, and so we have to drive all the way back over there. It's like 25-30 minute drive, and halfway there Shelby calls me and is like, I left the camera at your apartment.
A little important.
And so
I thought you were gonna tell us what.
I have to drive all the way back there. I have to wait at a light for like 5 hours. I was so angry.
5 hours.
It went through like 3 cycles without letting me go through. Anyway, so I get it. It was the scene where right after I had gotten arrested and stuff, and it was me and Jane's first actual discussion together. I remember, I think I was wearing a green jacket or something. I don't know. Anyway,
It's like a really intense.
It was a very
emotional
heavy scene.
it was that one, and then we did another one, and then our last monologues for the last episode, and it just went on forever.
It was a lot of like memorization and then doing it like right before, just like trying to
at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, and like me and Carly are dropping lines left and right, and like getting so frustrated with ourselves, and it was just like, and it was so exhausting. And like I remember at one point she's giving one of her monologues, and I'm like on the floor just like I can't function, and Kitty Bennett is coming over me, and I'm allergic to cats. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. But yeah, that was
the end of that night.
Yeah. It was so, I remember getting home at like 5.
It turned out so well. You did so well.
I crawled back in bed. Like, I can't.
In that scene that we had to do, we also had to be like on top of one another so close.
Yeah.
Too. Like I think that's just a funny thing.
We're like this, and Shelby's like, get closer. We physically cannot.
I know, and we're like, and we're trying to be like a little. We're like still a little awkward with one another. Like our friendship is still like not.
And we're like
totally back to normal.
It was a small room. Okay.
It was a small room. Shelby.
I'll focus kind of on the writing side of it, because that was more. I did more of that, I guess, than acting. And it's kind of a whole storyline, but I can pinpoint it, I guess, as the episode 7, where Charlotte is giving advice to Emily about her anxiety and friendships and stuff. And it's kind of difficult to explain why that was so hard to write all of that, because it goes into a lot of like personal things. Basically, the character of Emily was never meant to be as important as she was in the story. It just kind of happened of its own accord, which sounds ridiculous because I was like, I just accidentally wrote myself to be more important.
Well, the audience reacted.
Yeah.
Complete, like, changed the entire image of it. You speak about that.
It really did. So the idea of Emily in the first place was just kind of like, I was intrigued by the idea of having a character who goes from behind the camera into in front of the camera, and kind of using that like YouTube space and seeing like what that would look like. And we thought that the contrast between someone as flamboyantly outgoing as Oscar Wilde and as someone as sheltered and shy as Emily Dickinson was just hilarious. And so we're like, we'll just play with that and just, see how that dynamic is going to work. We were never, ever expecting people to really pick up on the Emily character and storyline so sincerely and so kindly as everyone did. A lot of Emily's fears and anxieties are things that I've personally struggled with for a long time, and it's kind of a thing that I've always hated about myself, like when I feel really afraid of things and I've just kind of like tried to beat it out of myself. So in a way, that character was a way for me to write about those struggles, but I was trying to write about it kind of flippantly, like just kind of weaving it in as a joke here and there. We start like reading through comments that are going through some of our episodes, and parts when we've been filming or I've been writing, and I just felt like Emily's being such a bitch, she's being so uptight. And just because that's like how I would personally feel when I would react that way to things, and I would feel like really guilty for behaving certain ways. And then to have so much audience support and people being like, no, Emily, like, it's okay, you need help, you need support, you're fine, like, I don't know, it was like overwhelming as a person and as a writer and as an actor and like all these levels. And so thankfully that episode 7 was one that we filmed a lot later than some of the other ones, and by that point we'd kind of seen that the direction that the storyline was taking, that it was kind of creating on its own. You don't want to entirely change where you're going with a storyline, but I was able to be a lot more like sensitive and aware of what that story actually was, that we
got to speak to a different audience than we expected to.
Yeah, and you guys really spoke to me, to be super cheesy, but it meant a lot, so thank you all. In writing that episode, it was difficult to know where to kind of draw the line, because I didn't want to just be really like cheesy and straightforward and like, I am now getting counseling and my friends completely understand now and everything is peachy and rosy, because I just don't think that's how people operate most of the time. And I really like having messy characters that you love them in spite of their flaws. So like all of our characters were so flawed, and I don't think we ever tried to fix anyone, because that's just how people are. Like, you love them for the ways that they're different and difficult, and so that was all like emotionally taxing to write, as well as just difficult to know what direction to go with it all. I know yours, and I'm really sorry about it.
Okay, I have 2 actually, and I'm gonna talk about the first one.
Okay.
First, because I haven't talked to you guys about this one yet, I don't think. The first one I want to talk about is the Jane and Shakespeare scene.
Yes.
Which, that one took a while.
Yeah.
That took a while for us to do, because there's a lot of subtext in that scene, and it was really difficult for me as an actor to find the balance of, as Jane, wanting to feel and have that ability and the depth to feel. I think that's something that throughout her entire storyline she'd been juggling and really struggling with, and it had been bothering her, and I think that Will was actually getting her to feel something, whether, I mean, it was something, no matter what it was, while at the same time trying to guard Oscar and be his friend, and knowing that what was happening was totally wrong. It was really, really difficult for me to juggle those 2 like opposing wants. That was definitely really, really difficult to, without like overplaying or overstepping or doing something that wasn't true to Jane. Because I think it's a really real thing, that type of thing.
Yeah. Like
being put into a situation like that. I think it's very real. And just like not knowing, and even in the moment, like you could be feeling so many things in this like big pool of feeling, but you don't know what it is, and you don't know how to react, so she just freezes up, and that was really difficult.
And the other thing with that episode was that it all had to be shot in one take, which was different than everything else, because normally you can piece things together YouTube style, but since it was all supposed to be happening right there, and it was not a performance, and it was being put up to show Oscar, like, look how innocent I am, you can't be cutting things, because then it looks like, what did you cut out?
What was the point?
That could
What
be the discretion.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that added that extra level of pressure when you already have
it's
so much
really
pressure.
long. Yeah, no, it was really, really great. It was she gave me really great material to work with.
You were so sweet. You're brilliant.
She's brilliant.
We're all brilliant.
Oh, okay, but
What's your other one? You saw
about that other scene you made me do. Just kidding, I loved it. Okay, so the high maintenance episode.
Oh no, I am sorry about this one.
This was our last episode on that one big day at Cody's apartment. So it's about 2:30 in the morning.
Right before we came here.
And if you recall, I'm soaking wet in that episode. And so between every take, I have to keep like splashing myself with water because I kept just drying off. It was great. And so this was probably the scene that I'm gonna say most of us were not incredibly familiar with this one. Like, it was not worked and table read as much as the other ones were.
Which is funny, really quick. That episode originally, whenever it was the first thought of that happened, it was supposed to be funny, like really comedic.
No, it wasn't.
And
It did not.
transformed, and then it was not funny that night.
I don't think I've ever just like mind blank. Like like these lines, I physically could not say some of them because they just like were gone. They were not in my body. I would get so, I was getting so legitimately frustrated. Like I couldn't talk between takes because I was just like, no, keep going. Like I would splash me with water. Let's finish this. And I just like, I felt like I was holding everyone back. It was just like really, really difficult.
And I had this killer cold at the time. If you notice some episodes when Emily sounds like Carrie Fisher or Kristen Stewart, like, I had this like low gravelly voice, and at this point of the night I just started coughing uncontrollably. So I'm standing off camera like trying to hold my breath so she can get through her lines, and she'd be like finally getting it, doing it so well, and then I'm just like coughing.
I think at that point you handed me the camera. Yeah, because
I was holding the camera and coughing.
Yeah. And I was like, shooting things.
I wanted to give up on that episode.
Yes,
I was just camera.
Yeah,
but we had no time.
Because the next night we had the big party at Fitzgerald's.
Yeah, the masquerade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. This guy is the hero of that episode because we were on such a time crunch, and this was the last night that she was going to be in town, and we had been up all night, and I at this point just said, like, we can just do a vlogging episode where they're wearing fancy clothes and they say, let's tell you all the crazy stuff that happened at this party, and Cody said, no! He said, I'll wrangle up people for a party. I've got all these costumes from our costume shop. Like, and I was just like, you just tell me like where to show up with the camera because that's all I can handle it at this point.
I could only be there for an hour. I remember.
Yeah.
Like, I had to come in and I had to come out because I had to leave.
And I think that was like, especially once it was all edited together and stuff, I loved editing that one. That's one of my favorite episodes.
It's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, me too. It's so much fun.
Hero of the day. Stephanie Knowles wants to know, were there any writers you really wanted to include but couldn't for some reason? Loved the show, by the way. Phenomenal. Thank you, Stephanie. Yes, there were. One thing that we actually have had questions about, and this was on my mind the entire time we were filming it, I promise also, was that we really wanted to include more diverse authors than we did, because we did have like a very white European kind of cast, and I would have loved to have included like Zora Neale Hurston or Maya Angelou or Langston Hughes, especially with current events going on, and that like racial topics are really something that I would have loved to include and talk about.
Yeah. You're happy to include the LGBT community, very much so.
Right.
So like whenever we didn't have a more diverse cast and people that we could use, we did focus on that a little bit more.
Yeah. Because we have some like brilliant actor friends who are people of color who just happen to be like starring in their shows at the time and just unavailable for us to be like, can you do stuff on our piddly little project? And also especially in the moment of writing this, how intense the like racial tension in the country was. It was very intimidating to try to know where do you even start trying to include those storylines, because you don't want to just gloss over them, and you also, it could just become the entire focus of the show, and I wouldn't know where to go with that. So,
and also the fact that we were like Shelby wrote it, like we created it together, like Shelby heading it up, but like we did the work, like, and so like we had a very small group of people that we could 100% trust to be there every single day.
The three of us. Like that's how we wrote the show, was knowing the three of us are committed to this. And
not saying that the rest of the cast wasn't committed, because they were, but like they had other busy lives to attend, and we had the time, and
we were willing to put this first.
Yeah, as far as extras go, like at the parties and stuff, you managed to wrangle up people with all of your theater connections and stuff.
Yes.
So that was kind of all you.
Well, I mean, in all the party scenes that we had, all of them, we had 2. But in the party scenes that we had, like, Shelby was like, we need people for a party. And I was like, okay. Because, like, us didn't know anyone else here in town.
Right.
So it's like, going back to college. Like, come here. And so, like, I just had, like, people, like, there and some of my brother's friends and all kind of stuff. And it was just, like, we gave them a general, like, group of authors and writers to pick from, and we're like, who do you want to be? And so they did, and it was actually really cool because then we got to do the little like extra like videos, and then we got to bring them back later and use them
really
again
fun.
And like make little tiny reoccurring characters that even you guys commented on, and like they're like, oh my gosh, you know,
like
Virginia Woolf, or
our friend Zena, who was Virginia Woolf.
Oh, she was so good.
Because she doesn't normally act, and she just killed it, and it was so fun that
funny.
she gets to be Virginia now.
Feminism means you hate all.
Katie asks, what was the inspiration for the Kerouac storyline?
All right.
Shelby's actual obsession with Jack Kerouac. Yep. It was like, she was writing, and then all of a sudden she's like, I really want to put in Jack Kerouac, and I was like, okay, like, cool, and she's like, I'm reading his book, and I have to put him in. Like, how are we I don't know, we're just putting him in.
Not so much an obsession with Jack Kerouac specifically, but I do like to travel and adventure, and I think that those are things that need to be in our media more, if that makes sense. Like, I'm really into travel culture, and I like a lot of the ideas of Jack Kerouac and like the Beat Generation. So that, I guess, yeah, that was me. I wanted to include all that. But I also, again, I love like just having really contrasting characters, and I thought he provided a huge contrast.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Like,
and Chris was phenomenal.
Oh my
Chris
gosh, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch those episodes until they came out.
Oh,
like
really?
I
you were back at school when
because I was back in Missouri, and I hadn't even read those episodes really.
Yeah.
Like I really didn't know much about that entire storyline at all, and
I personally
really
didn't
exciting.
really know that the kiss was happening at the end of that one episode, and like all of a sudden I'm watching like, oh, it happened.
No, and I really...
Because she left too. She left right after we stopped.
Yeah,
she was out of the country.
Traveling
and so we were all separated, and we had no idea like.
Oh, I didn't realize I'd blindsided everyone with that. One of my big things from traveling and from all that mentality is I feel like being a shyer person, it's really great when you meet someone who is more adventurous than you and is more outgoing, and they change you through inspiration rather than through like telling you need to be this way, you need to do this thing. They just do their own thing, and it's so cool that you want to be like them and do that. And so that's kind of what I see Kerouac as like a figure in history, and certainly for Emily, that when she has all these people who are telling her like, you need to be this way, he's like, I'm this way, you want to come along? And she's like, yeah, maybe I do. Like, I don't know. It's a less pressure situation that I think she handles. Mm-hmm. It's more her own choice in that way. Even though he's like an overwhelming kind of figure, it works for her. Chantel Vanderveen on YouTube asked, another season in which Emily lives with a couple different writers, say Keats and Lewis Carroll? I want to say yes. Yeah. I want to say yes so badly, but I don't see how that one's going to work. I am moving to Los Angeles in about a week. He's still in Oklahoma at school and then going to be moving to Chicago. She's in Missouri and then probably going to New York or LA. We're just very spread out right now. Ashley, our like transmedia editor, is in Nepal volunteering right now. We're just very, very spread out. I know, we miss you, Ashley. Potentially, if we all find a time when we're all together and free again, I would love to try to do something. I want to always work with these guys. I love them so much. But I definitely can't promise a second season. We had... the initial hope was to do kind of a spin-off season because I'm going to be in LA, and our Fitzgerald is going to be going to school in LA, and we thought that our Zelda was also going to be there, and we were just like, we can build something around this, but it's not quite working out that way, unfortunately.
She's going to a conservatory, which splits between half her time between LA and New York, and originally she was going to LA first, but she ended up deciding to go to New York for her freshman year instead of LA, so she won't be there for a couple of years.
But I know we all are still doing stuff, acting and writing and film, and if any of us have any more projects that are going up on YouTube, we'll be sure to put some kind of video on this channel and let you guys know what we're all doing, and certainly if we can do anything together, then you guys will be the first to know, because that would be really exciting.
We love this channel.
We love this channel. We love you guys so much.
We didn't expect it to be as wonderful as it was.
This is our practice project, because we wanted to really follow through on something for once, and like we said, we were so crunched for time, but it was just like we just wanted to make something, and the fact that everybody reacted so wonderfully and graciously toward that, all of your support has just been overwhelming and so inspiring to do more, for sure.
Yes.
In some capacity. That's all we have to talk about, really.
You want to talk about where we are now?
Yeah. Yeah. So, starting with you. So, what we're doing now?
Oh, me? I'm currently at school. I'm a musical theater major at the University of Tulsa. After that, after I graduate, I'm moving to Chicago, hopefully. That's the plan. I have a lot of connections there. I have a lot of friends there. I have possible roommates, apartments, just everything is pointing me to Chicago. And I love this city so much. And I'm currently working on 2 musicals right now that I don't know what format they will take place in. We've discussed YouTube. I think that would be really, really cool and could work very well with my concepts that I have for each show. So like, I don't know, maybe that's a future project that we will discuss, because we've discussed it a little bit, but that's me.
All right. I graduated from university a year ago, and then saved up money, and then spent the 6 months that I was releasing episodes for this show traveling around the world by myself, and just got back from that, which that's a hard thing to top. But now I'm moving out to LA, just because I've always wanted to live in LA. I'm applying for
vouch.
Yeah, like really always. You've known since kindergarten. So finally, like making that one happen. And applying for some graduate schools and media program stuff. I do have a lot of ideas of things to write. I just really want to get to take more time to flesh them out this time and try to...
Not 2 weeks.
Yeah, to not like kill anyone with 24 hours of nonstop filming and things like that. And I do a little bit of video blogging. I'll put some like links to my YouTube stuff and down there, some shameless self-promotion. But yeah, so that's me.
Oh, okay.
That's you.
Yep. Well, I'm a musical theater major as well, and I go to Missouri State University in Springfield. I have 1 more year left, and I plan on showcasing in both LA and New York City, and so it's kind of 50-50 for me as to where I will be in a year. But yeah, that's me right now.
I mean, we have different places that we're going, and we have a lot of ideas, and we love projects and all kinds of stuff. If you live in any of these cities that we are going to or live in, contact us through the Writing Majors email.
All of our Twitters I think are in the
yeah, they're like our personal Twitters, and we're very super normal people. Which I know there's like a weird disconnect online. I mean, not normal like average, but like we're not special. We're students, and is this not?
I think we're special. We're not serial killers though, so don't feel worried about reaching out to us. We would like people to collaborate with.
Yeah, and get to know and discuss and. You know, I mean, there's so many ideas that we have, but then there are also ideas that other people have, and you know, like connections for different cities and all kinds of stuff. Like, it's all about networking, and yeah.
Let's make art.
Woo! I think that's a good way to end this. All right. So thank you all so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I wish you the best of luck, Jennifer.
Ending transmission.
Sealed and signed and delivered.